The National Electrical Code, or NEC, does not have a specific rule mandating permanent re-identification of the white conductor when it is used as a current carrying conductor in three-way or four-way switching circuits. This is a nuanced area of electrical installation that often leads to confusion. To understand this, let's delve into the relevant sections of the NEC that address conductor identification and exceptions for specific applications. Generally, the NEC requires that the neutral conductor, which is typically white or grey, be used only for carrying neutral current, that is, the current returning to the source. This identification helps to ensure proper circuit polarity and reduce the risk of electrical shock. However, there are exceptions to this rule, allowing the white conductor to be used as an ungrounded or hot conductor under certain conditions. One such exception is commonly applied in switch loops, including three-way and four-way switching arrangements. In these scenarios, a white conductor within a cable assembly is permitted to be re-identified at each termination point to indicate its use as a hot conductor. The NEC section 200.7 addresses the use of white or grey conductors. Subsection cone specifically allows the use of a white or grey conductor as a supply to a switch if it is permanently re-identified to indicate its use as an ungrounded conductor. This re-identification is typically achieved by marking the conductor with color tape, such as black or red, or by other effective means approved by the authority having jurisdiction, or OJ. However, the NEC does not explicitly state that this re-identification must be permanent in the context of three-way or four-way switching. The rationale behind allowing the white conductor to be used as a hot conductor in switch loops stems from practical wiring considerations. In many older homes, the wiring methods used may not include a separate hot conductor running to the switch location. Instead, the power is fed to the light fixture, and a cable containing a white and a black conductor is run from the fixture to the switch. In this configuration, the white conductor is used to carry the ungrounded current from the fixture to the switch, and the black conductor is used to carry the return current from the switch back to the fixture. Without the exception allowing re-identification, it would be impossible to wire such a circuit without violating the NEC color coding requirements. While the NEC does not mandate permanent re-identification for three-way and four-way switching, it is always a good practice to clearly mark the white conductor at each termination point to avoid confusion and potential hazards during future maintenance or modification. Permanent marking, such as using colored heat shrink tubing or indelible markers, can provide an extra layer of safety and clarity. It is important to note that local codes or regulations may have more stringent requirements than the NEC. Some jurisdictions may require permanent re-identification of the white conductor in all cases where it is used as an ungrounded conductor. Therefore, it is always essential to consult with the local HA to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. In summary, while the NEC allows the use of a white conductor as an ungrounded conductor in three-way and four-way switching circuits, it does not explicitly require permanent re-identification. However, re-identification is necessary, and best practices suggest using permanent marking methods to enhance safety and clarity. Always refer to the latest edition of the NEC and consult with the local AHA to ensure compliance with all applicable requirements. Let's consider some additional details about conductor identification and the specific rules related to three-way and four-way switches. Understanding these details can further clarify the NEC intent and provide practical guidance for electrical installations. The NEC section 200.7 cone allows a white or grey colored conductor to be used as other than a grounded conductor when part of a cable assembly, and where it is permanently re-identified at all terminations and every location where the conductor is visible and accessible. This re-identification typically involves marking the conductor with color tape, paint, or other effective means. The intent is to clearly indicate that the conductor is being used as a hot conductor and is not a neutral. When dealing with three-way and four-way switch circuits, the application of this rule can vary depending on the specific wiring configuration. A three-way switch allows control of a light or other electrical load from two different locations. A four-way switch, used in conjunction with two three-way switches, allows control from three or more locations. These circuits often involve running conductors between the switches and the light fixture in a way that may necessitate using the white conductor as a hot conductor. One common scenario is where the power is supplied to the light fixture first, and then a cable is run from the fixture to the switch locations. In this case, the white conductor in the cable is often used to carry the ungrounded current from the fixture to the switch, and the black conductor is used to carry the return current from the switch back to the fixture. To comply with the NEC, the white conductor must be re-identified at both the fixture and the switch locations to indicate its use as a hot conductor. However, the NEC does not explicitly define what constitutes permanent re-identification in this context. Some electricians interpret this to mean that the re-identification must be durable and long-lasting, such as using colored heat shrink tubing or indelible markers. Others may consider colored tape to be sufficient, as long as it is securely applied and unlikely to come loose. It is important to note that the AHA has the final say in determining whether a particular re-identification method is acceptable. Therefore, it is always a good practice to consult with the local AHA to get their approval before using a particular method. In addition to re-identifying the white conductor at the termination points, it is also important to ensure that the conductor is properly identified at any intermediate locations where it may be visible and accessible. This is particularly important in situations where the cable is run through accessible spaces, such as attics or crawl spaces. In these cases, the white conductor should be marked at regular intervals to indicate its use as a hot conductor. While the NEC does not specifically require permanent re-identification for three-way and four-way switching, some local codes or regulations may have more stringent requirements. For example, some jurisdictions may require that all white conductors used as hot conductors be permanently re-identified using colored heat shrink tubing. To ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards, it is essential to consult with the local AHA and review the specific requirements in your area. In conclusion, the NEC allows the use of a white conductor as an ungrounded conductor in three-way and four-way switching circuits, provided that it is properly re-identified at all termination points and any accessible locations. While the NEC does not explicitly require permanent re-identification, it is always a good practice to use durable and long-lasting marking methods to enhance safety and clarity. Always consult with the local AHA to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. Let's now expand on the considerations for ensuring electrical safety when re-identifying conductors in three-way and four-way switching circuits. Electrical safety should be the paramount concern in any electrical installation or modification. When a white conductor is re-identified for use as an ungrounded conductor, it is crucial to take extra precautions to prevent accidental contact with the conductor and to ensure that other electricians or homeowners are aware of the change in function. One of the most important safety measures is to properly label the circuit breaker or fuse that supplies power to the circuit. The label should clearly indicate that the circuit includes a re-identified white conductor and that the conductor is being used as a hot conductor. This will help to prevent accidental energizing of the circuit while someone is working on it. Another important safety measure is to use appropriate personal protective equipment, or PPE, when working on the circuit. This includes wearing insulated gloves and safety glasses to protect against electrical shock and arc flash. It is also important to use properly insulated tools and to avoid working on the circuit while it is energized. Before beginning any electrical work, it is essential to verify that the circuit is de-energized using a voltage tester. The voltage tester should be used to check the voltage between all conductors, including the re-identified white conductor, to ensure that there is no voltage present. It is also important to follow proper lockout/tagout procedures to prevent the circuit from being accidentally re-energized while work is in progress. This involves placing a lock and tag on the circuit breaker or fuse to indicate that the circuit is being worked on and should not be energized. In addition to these safety measures, it is also important to consider the potential for future modifications or repairs to the circuit. If the circuit is ever modified or repaired, it is essential to ensure that the re-identified white conductor is properly identified and labeled. This will help to prevent confusion and potential hazards during future work. It is also a good practice to document the circuit configuration and the location of the re-identified white conductor in the electrical panel schedule. This will provide a record of the circuit configuration and will help to ensure that the circuit is properly maintained over time. In summary, electrical safety should be the paramount concern when re-identifying conductors in 3-way and 4-way switching circuits. It is crucial to take extra precautions to prevent accidental contact with the conductor and to ensure that other electricians or homeowners are aware of the change in function. This includes properly labeling the circuit breaker, using appropriate PPE, verifying that the circuit is de-energized, and following proper lockout/tagout procedures. Let's shift the focus to exploring best practices for re-identifying white conductors in 3-way and 4-way switching circuits. While the NEC provides guidelines for re-identifying white conductors, it does not offer specific instructions on the best methods to use. Therefore, it is important to consider the various options available and choose the method that is most effective and practical for the specific application. One of the most common methods for re-identifying white conductors is to use colored tape. Black or red tape is typically used to indicate that the conductor is being used as a hot conductor. The tape should be wrapped tightly around the conductor at all termination points and at any accessible locations. While colored tape is a relatively inexpensive and easy-to-use option, it is not always the most durable or long-lasting solution. Over time, the tape can become loose, brittle, or faded, which can make it difficult to identify the conductor. Another option is to use colored heat shrink tubing. Heat shrink tubing is a type of plastic tubing that shrinks when heated. It is available in a variety of colors and sizes, and it can be used to provide a durable and long-lasting re-identification of the white conductor. To use heat shrink tubing, the tubing is slipped over the conductor and then heated with a heat gun. The heat causes the tubing to shrink tightly around the conductor, providing a secure and permanent re-identification. Heat shrink tubing is more expensive than colored tape, but it offers a more durable and professional-looking solution. A third option is to use colored wire markers. Wire markers are small plastic tags that can be attached to the conductor to indicate its function. They are available in a variety of colors and sizes, and they can be attached to the conductor using a variety of methods, such as adhesive or zip ties. Wire markers are a good option for situations where it is important to be able to easily identify the conductor without having to remove any tape or tubing. In addition to these physical methods of re-identification, it is also important to consider the use of labeling. The electrical panel schedule should be clearly labeled to indicate which circuits include re-identified white conductors and what their function is. This will help to prevent confusion and potential hazards during future maintenance or modifications. In summary, there are several best practices for re-identifying white conductors in 3-way and 4-way switching circuits. These include using colored tape, colored heat shrink tubing, colored wire markers, and labeling the electrical panel schedule. The choice of method will depend on the specific application and the desired level of durability and visibility. To further our knowledge, let's consider common mistakes to avoid when re-identifying white conductors in 3-way and 4-way switching circuits. Proper electrical work is essential, and avoiding common mistakes helps ensure safety and compliance. One common mistake is failing to re-identify the white conductor at all termination points. The NEC requires that the white conductor be re-identified at all termination points and at any accessible locations. Failing to do so can create confusion and potential hazards during future maintenance or modifications. Another common mistake is using the wrong color tape or marker. The NEC specifies that the white conductor should be re-identified using black or red tape or markers. Using other colors can create confusion and may violate local codes or regulations. A third common mistake is not using a durable or long-lasting re-identification method. Colored tape can become loose, brittle, or faded over time, which can make it difficult to identify the conductor. Heat shrink tubing or wire markers are more durable and long-lasting solutions. A fourth common mistake is failing to label the electrical panel schedule to indicate which circuits include re-identified white conductors. This can create confusion and potential hazards during future maintenance or modifications. A fifth common mistake is not consulting with the local AHJ to ensure compliance with all applicable codes and standards. Local codes or regulations may have more stringent requirements than the NEC. A sixth common mistake is not verifying that the circuit is de-energized before beginning any electrical work. This can lead to electrical shock or arc flash. Always use a voltage tester to verify that the circuit is de-energized before beginning any work. A seventh common mistake is not using appropriate PPE when working on the circuit. This includes wearing insulated gloves and safety glasses. An eighth common mistake is not following proper lockout/tagout procedures to prevent the circuit from being accidentally re-energized while work is in progress. A ninth common mistake is not documenting the circuit configuration and the location of the re-identified white conductor in the electrical panel schedule. A 10th common mistake is assuming that the NEC requires permanent re-identification of the white conductor in 3-way and 4-way switching circuits. The NEC does not explicitly require permanent re-identification, but it is always a good practice to use durable and long-lasting marking methods to enhance safety and clarity. By avoiding these common mistakes, electricians and homeowners can ensure that electrical work is performed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and standards. Let's transition to discussing specific scenarios and examples related to re-identifying white conductors in 3-way and 4-way switching circuits. By examining real-world examples, we can gain a better understanding of how the NEC rules apply in practical situations. Scenario 1: a homeowner wants to install a new 3-way switch to control a light fixture from 2 different locations. The existing wiring in the home does not include a separate hot conductor running to the switch location. Instead, the power is fed to the light fixture, and a cable containing a white and a black conductor is run from the fixture to the switch. In this scenario, the white conductor in the cable will need to be re-identified at both the fixture and the switch locations to indicate its use as a hot conductor. The homeowner should use black or red tape or heat shrink tubing to re-identify the white conductor. Scenario 2: an electrician is installing a new 4-way switch to control a light fixture from 3 different locations. The wiring in the building includes a cable containing a white, a black, and a red conductor running between the switches. In this scenario, the white conductor may be used as a traveler wire between the switches. The electrician should re-identify the white conductor at all termination points to indicate its use as a hot conductor. Scenario 3: a building owner is renovating an existing office space. The existing wiring in the office space includes several 3-way and 4-way switching circuits. The building owner wants to ensure that all of the wiring is in compliance with the NEC. The building owner should hire a qualified electrician to inspect the wiring and to re-identify any white conductors that are being used as hot conductors. The electrician should use durable and long-lasting marking methods to re-identify the conductors and should label the electrical panel schedule to indicate which circuits include re-identified white conductors. Example 1: a homeowner is replacing a broken 3-way switch. The homeowner notices that the existing wiring includes a white conductor that is connected to one of the switch terminals. The homeowner is not sure if the white conductor is being used as a neutral or as a hot conductor. The homeowner should use a voltage tester to check the voltage between the white conductor and ground. If there is voltage present, then the white conductor is being used as a hot conductor and should be re-identified. Example 2: an electrician is troubleshooting a problem with a 4-way switching circuit. The electrician notices that one of the switches is not working properly. The electrician suspects that the problem may be caused by a miswired conductor. The electrician should carefully inspect the wiring at each switch and at the light fixture to ensure that all of the conductors are properly connected. The electrician should also check to see if any of the white conductors have been re-identified. By examining these specific scenarios and examples, we can gain a better understanding of how the NEC rules apply in practical situations and how to avoid common mistakes. Let's move to addressing frequently asked questions or facts related to re-identifying white conductors in 3-way and 4-way switching circuits. These questions often arise during electrical installations and modifications, and providing clear and concise answers can help to ensure safety and compliance. Question 1. Does the NEC require permanent re-identification of the white conductor in 3-way and 4-way switching circuits? Answer. The NEC does not explicitly require permanent re-identification, but it does require the white conductor to be re-identified at all termination points and at any accessible locations. It is always a good practice to use durable and long-lasting marking methods to enhance safety and clarity. Question 2. What color tape or markers should be used to re-identify the white conductor? Answer. The NEC specifies that the white conductor should be re-identified using black or red tape or markers. Question 3. Can I use a white conductor as a hot conductor in a 3-way or 4-way switching circuit if I don't re-identify it? Answer. No. The NEC requires that the white conductor be re-identified if it is being used as a hot conductor. Question 4. What should I do if I find a white conductor that is being used as a hot conductor but is not re-identified? Answer. You should re-identify the white conductor using black or red tape or markers. You should also label the electrical panel schedule to indicate that the circuit includes a re-identified white conductor. Question 5. Is it safe to work on a 3-way or 4-way switching circuit that includes a re-identified white conductor? Answer. Yes, provided that you follow proper safety procedures. This includes verifying that the circuit is de-energized, using appropriate PPE, and following proper lockout/tagout procedures. Question 6. Should I consult with the local AHA before re-identifying a white conductor? Answer. Yes. Local codes or regulations may have more stringent requirements than the NEC. Question 7. What are the best methods for re-identifying white conductors? Answer. The best methods include using colored tape, colored heat shrink tubing, and colored wire markers. Question 8. What are some common mistakes to avoid when re-identifying white conductors? Answer. Common mistakes include failing to re-identify the conductor at all termination points, using the wrong color tape or marker, not using a durable re-identification method, and not labeling the electrical panel schedule. Question 9. Where can I find more information about re-identifying white conductors? Answer. You can find more information in the NEC, in electrical handbooks, and from qualified electricians and electrical inspectors. Question 10. Does re-identifying a white conductor affect the resale value of my home? Answer. Properly re-identifying a white conductor according to code should not negatively affect the resale value of your home. However, it is important to ensure that all electrical work is performed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and standards. By addressing these frequently asked questions, we can provide clear and concise answers to common concerns and help to ensure that electrical work is performed safely and in compliance with all applicable codes and standards.